Hello everyone, this is Bot of a God here, and unfortunately my Wi-Fi still isn't fixed, so this is not a Pokemon battle. But what I am going to be doing for the last couple weeks, I've been writing a Pokemon story, like my own journey. Like, it would kind of like Ash's journey, but more interesting and funny in my opinion. So yeah, while I'm having this hiatus of uploading, I decided to just do this story so I could get some feedback on it. So any comments you write would be very appreciated. Watch it if you like it. And I will be using animations eventually, but for right now I'm just going to use pictures. So tell me what you think. For this one, my first two chapters are pretty short, so I'll be combining them into one episode. So thank you very much, and I'll start right now. Chapter 1. How much for the farfetch'd in the window? The sun began to set slowly over Johto, creating the dim, iridescent feel that all of the natives here loved. The breeze swept inside of my home, flipping my hair up. The buzz of the magneton shot through the dusk. The waves swept upon the beaches, exposing the whooper buried underneath the shore. Deep in the water, you could see the faint glow of the newly hatched chinchou. I wish I could say Johto was at peace with the world, but it might just be the furthest thing from it. I was originally from Kanto, where Team Rocket had their base of operations, but they rarely got anything done. I knew everywhere in the world there is evil, but in Johto it just seems to be the strongest. Team Rocket also conducts missions here, way worse than their missions in Kanto. There was a rumor they used to cut the tails of Slowpoke, something I never wished to believe was true. Every day, ample stores are robbed of Pokeballs and potions. Another rumor I heard was they forced a Magikarp into evolving prematurely, causing the Gyarados to be twice as fierce as normal ones. The worst of the rumors is that they actually forced Pokemon into slavery. Electrodes are used to power machines, and Machokes do the physical labor, always to the point of exhaustion. A freezing sensation rubbed against my leg, much too cold to breathe from the breeze. Glacie, our pet said. It was our Glaceon, Sophie. It's actually my mom's, but it became more of a family pet after my mom stopped her travels to take care of us. She had caught us as an Eevee, and she originally wanted an Espeon, except it evolved in the icy cave before it hit max happiness. At this point, Glaceons were almost unheard of in Johto, so my mom was actually pretty impressed by it. She also had a Politoed that was practically her best friend. My dad was more of a Pokemon trainer, though. Over his years, he managed to get his hands on a Luxray and a Gallade. He had other Pokemon as well, but I had never seen them. I decided to put the DVD of that Professor Elm sent me into the DVD player. Sorry, a new page just opened up. To start your Pokemon journey, you can receive one of these 3 Pokemon, the video said. A Pokeball opened up. A red stream of light came out as a Chikorita. The professor had explained what a Chikorita was. I had no need for the explanations. I already knew. The film showed my second choice, Cyndaquil, the Fire Mouse Pokemon. I said simultaneously with the video. Neither of those 2 Pokemon perked my interest. Smash! I turned around in shock. A Pokemon had just run into my window, so it must have been a flying type. A light green stick was left there. I opened the window to investigate the stick. My fingers ran across the smooth edges of the leak when all of a sudden I was attacked. Fetch, 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 the ferocious Pokemon said, pecking at my head. It grabbed the leak and ran out the window before I got a good look at it. I looked in the mirror. I had a cut running from my eye down to my cheekbone. What the hell was that about? I screamed out the window, but the Pokemon was long gone. Totodile, the video said. This is the one I had been waiting for. Totodile spends a lot of its time relaxing, but when it comes down to it, they can be very competitive. They evolve into Croconaut and then finally into Feraligatr. The video had spelled Feraligatr wrong. It must have been some sort of typo. I have wanted a Totodile my whole life. Tomorrow that dream might just be a reality. I shut off the video. It was getting late, and I had to get ready for my big day. Right as I got into bed, my mom walked into the room. Since after you get your Pokemon tomorrow, you're going to be off on your journey, I just wanted to make sure I could get you a goodbye present before you leave. Her tears were pouring out as she took out a container. Inside of the container was a brown-colored egg. My Politoed had an egg, but instead of hatching it for a Poliwrath, I decided to put it into the egg swap, so technically this could hatch to be any Pokemon in the world. What an amazing gift. I had my first Pokemon. Almost. She got a tissue and wiped the tears out of her eyes, when suddenly her jaw dropped. The tears prevented her from getting a good look at me, so she finally noticed the scar. Oh my god, what happened to you? She screamed. Don't ask me, a random Pokemon came into my window and attacked me, I laughed. She pulled the usual mom freak-out and used antibacterial spray and Band-Aids for a cut that truly wasn't that big. After all, that was over. I began to go to sleep. Or at least try. Chapter 2. Close but so far-fetched. Johto dawns were just as beautiful as the nights. Pidgeot glided through the sky as Dugong jumped out of the water. The Sentret scurried along through the bushes. The Wooper unburied himself and the Magneton calmed down. Then Chinchou now were impossible to see from the glare of the sun. I saw the large gates leading into the laboratory which would be the home to my new Pokemon. Waiting with me was a girl and a guy. The girl was cute and had long brown hair, while the guy was a bit chubby and had brown hair that extended to his ears. "I'm Nick," I said. The guy was Mitch, and the girl was a Briton, apparently. The gate opened as the three of us walked inside. "I'm Professor Elm, and today you start your journey." He was a tall, lanky guy, much younger than I'd expected. He sent out the first Pokemon I saw in the video. "Chico," it said. "Now who would like to begin your journey with a Chikorita?" Britain shyly raised her hand. He handed her the Pokeball. A red stream of light shot out the Pokemon and the second ball. "Cyndaquil," it screeched. Mitch rose his hand. He received his Pokeball and left along with Britain. "Now I'm guessing you'll be taking the Totodile," he laughed. His hand picked up the Pokeball. He moved it in my direction, and it felt like it was going slow motion. Right before the exchange was made, we heard a smoke bomb explode. I fell to the ground coughing. "Skarmory, Whirlwind," I heard the professor's voice say. The smoke cleared the room fast, and a giant metal bird stood tall before the intruder. It was a tall kid wearing a mask to conceal his face, and worse, he had my Totodile's Pokeball in his hand. "Go Corphish," the kid said. Corphish and Skarmory eyed each other. "Fish," the crab said, ready to pound the Skarmory with his pincer. Skarmory retaliated with Fly, followed by Steel Wing to increase its power. Corphish dodged the steel bird and escaped through the front door with his trainer. The boy ran, and I chased after him. Corphish was getting irritated by me, and he didn't like the idea of being chased, whether or not I had a Pokemon to defend myself with. It turned around. "Corphish, keep running. We have his Pokemon. He can't do anything about it," the kid said. Corphish didn't listen. He lunged at me with what was a powerful pound attack. I hit the ground with a bang. Corphish stood over me. He had so much power for such a little crab. I closed my eyes and was ready to accept my punishment. "Farfetch'd," I heard. The bird Pokemon that attacked me last night was now attacking his Corphish. He was using the leak that I was trying to take to smack Corphish in the face. It was flying around too fast for the Corphish to catch. Every time Corphish lost view of it, he smacked it in the head. Farfetch'd got behind Corphish and wound up like he was taking a baseball hit. He pounded him with ferocious strength for his size. Corphish smashed into the ground. He turned around glaring at the evil kid who just tried to steal my Pokemon. He began to run, and with how dizzy I was over the pound attack, there was no chance of me catching up. Farfetch'd used his leak to help me off the ground. I see why he got so frustrated when I tried to take him. That leak helps him a lot. Professor Elm sprinted towards us. I couldn't believe it. After all that, they still got my Totodile. "Hey, Nick, don't worry about it. When my next shipment of Pokemon comes in, I'll be sure to get you a new Pokemon. But I'm not sure when that will be." My face dropped. I would have to wait longer for my first Pokemon. He handed me a Pokeball, though. "What's in this one?" I asked. "Nothing yet, but I know a certain Pokemon that might want to be," he smirked. "And what would that be?" I said curiously. Farfetch'd smacked me in the chin with his leak. "Oh my God!" I screamed in pain. Then I realized why he did it. "Farfetch'd, do you want to be my first Pokemon?" He looked at me like I was stupid. Of course it did. I opened up the ball, but he didn't get in. "Some Pokemon actually choose to walk with their trainer. I think Farfetch'd is one of those," Elm said. It felt weird not to have it in a ball, but either way, I had my first Pokemon. And it was a crazy ninja bird. Not something you see every day. I got home and put on the news. At the Johto laboratory, someone infiltrated and stole a Totodile. In the Hinyuan lab, a Tsuchra was stolen by a thief not by the name of Loco. And at the Sinnoh lab, a Chimchar was stolen by the thief of name of PM. It seemed like a bad day to start a journey. Crime is everywhere in the world of Pokemon. Maybe someday I could see Mitch and Burden again, but until then, Violet City was my destination. I took another look at Farfetch'd. He needed a name. "Farfetch'd, would you like if I named you Dubs?" I asked. His face perked up. The name just came to my mind, and it sounded really good. It was about time to go if I was going to make it. Okay, like I said, I'm going to try to animate that soon, but as for right now, I'm not sure how possible that is for me, because I'm kind of an idiot with computers. But everyone, please tell me what you thought of the story, because while those chapters were kind of slow-paced, it was just starting my journey, and it's going to get a lot more interesting. I'm going to get a whole team of new Pokemon, going to make some enemies, going to make some friends, and and I'll be trying to upload these a lot, so please just leave some comments. If you want to compliment me, that's great, and if you want to criticize me, I really like that, because it gives me something to work towards. But keep in mind, there's criticism, which is telling me what I can work on, and then there's a rude comment saying, like, gay story is gay. That's not criticism. That's being a dick. So please just let me know what you think, and I will keep uploading these if I am getting good feedback on them. So thank you guys very much, and continue to subscribe to me and continue to listen in on these stories to find out about my journey with the crazy ninja bird.